I'm here with RealBreakingNate, a well-known Pokemon YouTuber, and he's been doing actually quite a bit of stuff here at this year's convention. So why don't you, first of all, start off, how'd you get into making videos?
Well, I'm from a small town, and I always wanted to do something entertainment-wise, just to make people smile, make people laugh, brighten their day, something that I'm passionate about. And I obviously don't have the money, to move to California, where you see a lot of, entertainment and YouTube stuff going on is in California. And so I just started doing videos that I was passionate about, and it was Pokemon. I've been a fan of Pokemon ever since I was a little kid, ever since it came to the United States. And it's what I'm most passionate about. And so one day I was like, you know what, I'm going to try just doing Pokemon videos on YouTube and just have fun with it. And I started off just doing it for fun, and it kind of blew up into this big thing of where it's what I do all the time now. So, and I absolutely love it. So,
all right. Well, you're here at the convention. You're not just doing a little bit of Pokemon stuff. You've actually been helping out with a lot of the panels and stuff like that. What have you been working on here at this year's event?
So I've always, and this is kind of like another, I don't even want to say silly little dream, because it's an important dream. All dreams are important. But I've always wanted to have like a late night talk show when I was a kid. I always thought that'd be super, super cool. And I thought it was such a fun thing. And I happened to have the chance to be able to interview celebrities here at Wizard World Comic-Con. I've done it at other conventions as well, but I got the opportunity to do it one time, and I guess I did it good. And so they wanted me to come back and do more. And so now I do this as kind of like a full-time thing. I do other fun panels. You saw me do panels throughout this weekend. I just do kind of like a, if you're wanting to start a YouTube channel, type of panel. And we just actually you were here in this last one. We just got done doing the Nerd Off, where we talk about, like nerdy fandoms and things like that. I just like to do fun panels. That's essentially like what I like to do. And I hope people leave with a good memory and have fun. So, and hopefully that's not like a wishy-washy answer, but it's what it is,
Well, I wasn't able to make it all your panels, but the ones I went to, I definitely enjoyed. So you're doing a good job there. Now, one in particular we want to talk about is yesterday on Friday, you did a panel where you taught people how to play the Pokemon TCG. Yeah. First off, where did you get that idea?
Honestly, I have no idea. It just came up when we were talking about different panel ideas, and I've been a huge TCG player. Out of anything Pokemon related, people usually they have their one area that they love the most, either the anime, the video game, or the TCG, or even the merchandise, the collecting aspect of it. And TCG has always been like my number one love, and I've always collected the TCG. I remember buying the base set the first week it came out, going to Target and buying booster packs, which my very first rare I ever pulled was a Holo Venusaur from the base set. I'll never forget that. But I was like, I want to teach other people how to play this, because I remember when I was younger, I just collected for a good short period of time, and before I knew how to play, there's a game with this too, because a lot of people collected the cards and didn't really know how to play. And then after a little while, I learned how to play, and I wanted to be able to give back and teach people how to play with other people, because a lot of times you learn with just like one or two people, but I think it's more fun to learn in a big group setting, and just to kind of talk about the TCG, what you can expect, and how the whole thing works. Not even just playing the TCG, but what you can expect when it comes to tournaments or Pokemon leagues and things like that, when you get competitive with it. And I don't claim to be the best TCG player by any means. I am not the best TCG player, but I have fun with it, and I think that's the most important part.
That is basically the product they're selling us with the Pokemon TCG, or really any TCG, collectible card game, anything like that. How did it work out logistically? Did you get about what you expected? How did that pan out?
people seem to really enjoy it because they come with a lot of questions of not even just playing, but just collecting. And like I said, what can you expect if you want to get competitive with it? Like tournaments, like how do I go to find a tournament and things like that. And so I think people always seem to leave with a bunch of knowledge about playing the TCG and collecting it and getting into that scene in general. And I always let people know that Pokemon is easily the most positive and fun-loving community out there out of any fandom, and I will argue that any day of the week because it is my number one fandom.
Any advice if someone else wants to try doing something like this at a convention in their area?
Reach out to them. It's that simple. I always tell people, if you want to do a panel at your local convention, no matter how big or small the convention is, just send them an email. I mean, that's all you really got to do is just send them an email. Be like, hey, I would love to do this. This is, maybe give them a little background on things that or things that you can provide them as far as like, your knowledge and stuff like that. But just, it's that simple. Just find what convention you're wanting to go to, send them an email. The worst they can do is say, no, we're not interested, or they could say yes, and then you're going and doing something fun like a panel. So,
all right, Nate, been great having you on. Hope you have a good time at the rest of the convention this weekend.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It was a great time. It's like one of the first interviews I've ever done. So thank you so much for having me here. I appreciate it.
This has been Stephen Reich from Wizard World Comic-Con Madison 2018.